quick coaching video for Serve Dei. Dave Alwald here, Fig Garden Campus Pastor, here with Mr. Andrew File and Mr. Scotty Carolyn, Spiritual Formation Directors. And so this coaching video is about just that first process of I just received a packet, I'm kind of going home, and I'm thinking about kind of where do I start with this thing. And as we're considering that, we kind of had a chance to process this with a few people ahead of time. And so here's some of the things that we found are very important for all of us to consider right away as we start the process. So maybe Scott first, what are a couple things in your mind that for a person that just received the packet, before they kind of start the journey of what Serve Dei is, that we should all consider?
Yeah, a couple of things. First, I'd say don't panic, slow down, and it's all going to be okay. And we really have tried to help you along with this process. So there's a temptation for all of us to jump right to sort of this brainstorming, doing, what am I going to do with the money, how am I going to use it, who am I going to intentionally bless, and really jump straight to that process. We want to encourage you guys that the journey is just as important, if not more important, than the end result. So take some time, process this. Do that by spending some time in prayer. Take a few days, 2-3 days, spend some time praying with the Lord, and doing the Bible study that we provided you in the handout piece, and searching Scripture and going, God, what would you have me do in my context with this money? How can I be a blessing to somebody else? Because we really want you to take some time to listen to the Lord and what He's asking you to do. There's a good chance that you already know some people or have contact with people that you may be able to bless with this money and sort of share the gospel in a tangible way. And so I just encourage you to slow down, take your time, and don't rush to the end result. So yeah.
No, that's great. Drew, from your perspective, what's a couple things that you would say are important for all of us to consider?
Yeah, I think it's really easy for us to dream big and dream all these things, and we're gonna go downtown, we're gonna go do this thing, we're gonna go do this thing, and I think there's a lot of power in the ordinary, and the idea that has stirred with a lot of folks so far is the idea of seeing your community, seeing the place you work, seeing the place you live with new eyes, and that you see what God sees, and your heart breaks for the things that break God's heart. Some of the stuff we talked about during the Jonah series, and so there's power in just the ordinary of what God would do in that, and what's around you, and really see those communities, see those venues with kind of those new eyes of Christ. And so that's one thing. The second thing I'd say is don't do it alone. So it's really hard, if we try and do it alone. We're a very individualistic culture, and so grab somebody, grab a friend, grab another family, grab your life group, and do it together. Not only is there safety in numbers, but there's that shared vision, and even you have some more resources to do that. So I think don't do it alone, and then see your communities and your areas with new eyes.
Yeah, for sure. And then as I've been considering it, I think a huge piece of it is us collectively sharing the stories together. There is the point of us sharing the stories, because we're going to ask you in the packet to, as you've kind of processed through this, wherever you're at in that process, to share it at servedei.com. And the reason we're doing it is not so that we can do a big, gigantic pat on the back for ourselves at the end of this whole thing, but Scripture would say that as we share our stories, that it spurs each other on to love and good deeds, that as we hear how someone else is invested for the sake of another person, that it encourages us to do the same. That as we continue to read how Jesus took initiative for us, it encourages us to take initiative for others. So it's almost a sense of by way of reminder that we have been gifted with so much, and that, wow, that person's giving back in this way. I could give back in this way based on how I've been designed, based on where God's placed me. I don't have to be like that, but man, that's encouraging, because maybe I now can take courage in a different way. And so that's why we're sharing the stories, and encourage you to do the same. All right, well, a little coaching tips, and we'll be sending more along the way, but get after it. And then I'd say the big thing, let's collectively just have courage, because it's going to take a little bit of courage to do this whole thing, and that's what faith is all about. So, all right.